with another Marvel Legend review, and this actually isn't technically a Marvel Legend, but it does fit in well with the scale. This is actually the Mecha Hulk that came out in the Hulk's Classic line. I got this from a board member on the mucollectorclub.com website. Sorry for the late intro. My name is US Agent 27. I am from www.mucollectorclub.com, and I'm here to bring you another review. So what I did is I basically put a message out there saying, hey, anyone got this figure? I'm kind of looking for it. And one of our members, his name is the DMC, actually sent me a message saying, hey, I got the figure. Do you want it? We worked out a deal. He sold it to me really, really cheap. He totally hooked me up. So again, the DMC or Diego, thank you very much, man. I really do appreciate it. I am loving this figure, and I hope you guys really enjoy the review and that you guys run out and go and get your own Mecha Hulk after I'm done. So let's take a look at the sculpt. The sculpt on this guy, well actually, before we do that, let's take a look at his scale. He is a massive figure. I can't stress that enough how big he is. He's not overly tall, but he's very wide. And just for a size comparison, I have like the Walmart Hulk. And yes, the Walmart Hulk is taller, but you can easily see Mecha Hulk is definitely wider. Especially with these big giant ball joints on his arms. We're going to kind of talk about that. So Mecha Hulk does fit in pretty good scale with Marvel Legends, and I do have him kind of bent on one knee there, and we'll kind of talk more about that when we go over articulation. His sculpt, though, this figure is so impressive. Let me just zoom in on his face. Give me one second, just get the camera there. His face is amazing. He's got this like silverish dry brushing everywhere. He's got like a green, dirtied up green on top of his head. He's got those little red eyes right there that you can definitely see. On his chest right here, he's got like black with silver dry brushing all over it, green silver dry brushing. The figure, he looks weathered and battered. He's got like a darker green up here. He's got silver right there. He's got green on his arms. He's got all kinds of little intricate detail work in here. I'm going to show you how that all works when we get into articulation, but just looking at his hand, he's got all kinds of detail work in there. On his legs, he's got these little hoses that go from here to here. He's got like a brownish color on his foot. He's got a brownish color on his foot. On his back, he's got red where his like rocket launchers are. Also on the back of his arms there, he's got like a rust color there. He's got green right there. He's got brown. The figure is definitely painted very well. By far, this is probably one of the most impressive non-Marvel Legends I've seen in this scale. He looks impressive just sitting on my shelf. I haven't really decided who I'm going to pair him up with or like how I'm going to display him just yet, but he looks great. Now he does come with come with a couple accessories. The first accessory I'm going to show you is actually, his name is the Gremlin, and I'll show you where he's going to kind of sit in his back in the cockpit, and it's basically this little freaky looking dude. Right there. And he looks grotesque. He's got like a little blood coming out of his nose. It looks like a little egg-shaped head. Figures, we'll talk a little bit about his articulation. His arms go up and down like that. His leg falls off. So it's kind of like a mini-mate. You just have to put the leg back on. Legs go up and down. And then there's the back. Even he has some dry brushing right on his paint. It looks like blue with black mixed in. It looks great though. A little belt buckle. But the face sculpt on him, his head can move. So you can be like, where's the precious? To the Hulk. Oh, camera on focus. There it goes. So definitely a little menacing figure. The other accessory that Mecha Hulk comes with are these two little, there are two of them. but they're supposed to be like springs, so you push these in, and these actually sit in his chest, and you hit a button and they pop out. I'm not going to use those, so I just took those out and set them to the side. So on to articulation. So for the Mecha Hulk, his head can go all the way down. It can go up about that far. And if you notice, I'm going to try to zoom in. When I move his head, these little joints are going into the body. So it does hinder the articulation a little bit, but it does look really, really cool. I mean, they go in and like that, in and out, almost like a working joint would. For his arms, they go all the way around. These are big, giant ball joints, so they go up, all the way up, which I like. There's no bicep swivel. This swivels as one joint. Single joint at the elbow. It doesn't go up that far. It goes up about that far, and that's about it. About down that far. Again, if you look inside, like right there, that joint pushes inside, almost like a piston would on a car. Again, just really cool articulation. His hand, his thumb has articulation. So it goes like that, back about that far, and that's all on one piece. There's not a separate joint right there. His hands can go down, and then there's another joint there, so they can kind of make like a fist, which is really cool. His other hand is exactly the same. On the front of his chest, there's a button up here you would press to open up his chest pieces, and that's where those two little rocket things would kind of shoot out of. And even that right there is detailed really nice in red and black. Again, I'm not going to display mine like that. His ab joint is all the way at the bottom, so it's almost like a waist joint. It swivels back and forth very easily. On his legs, he's got ball joints on his legs. Now you want to be careful of the little metal wire piece here that's kind of holding it together. If you move it too far, you could break that. But the ball joints work very well, just like any other Marvel Legend. They go out, they go up, they go back. He has single joint at the knee that goes up and down like that. This little rocket piece can go up in the back, so you can have kind of in like a blast off pose. His foot articulation is definitely interesting. His foot is there's a swivel right there. And this little piece here kind of hides it. And then his foot is actually on an ankle pivot, really nice ankle pivot too. I'm not getting in the camera angle. Really nice ankle pivot, and you can kind of get him in some really good dynamic poses with that. He's also got a foot articulation that can kind of go up like that far and back like that. So that's his foot. And the other side is exactly the same. On his back, he does have like this little cockpit area, and that's where you'd put the little gremlin guy. This would be like his little visor that he's kind of controlling and looking out in. And then this just pushes up. Mine's a little loose. I might just put a little tack in there just so it kind of stays. And even on his back, you got all the detail work on the paint. Overall, I mean, articulation, the figure, it's a bigger figure, so you're not going to get the same kind you would with, like, say, a Spider-Man figure, but it's definitely articulated. You can definitely get him in some really, really nice dynamic poses pretty easily. You know, and then get the Hulk kind of going up against him. Zoom out. So then you can have like the Hulk kind of facing off against him too. So you can definitely, you know, he's definitely very, very posable. Definitely, in my opinion, a must-buy if you're a Hulk fan, if you're a Marvel Legend fan. He's just one of those figures you have to have. It's kind of like the Spider Hulk. You know, it's a novelty figure. You know, you have to see it in person to understand like all the detail work that went into him, all the dry brushing, the paint work, and the sculpt. It's blown me away. Anyway, this has been US Agent 27 from the MUCollectorClub.com forums. Make sure if you haven't come check this out, you come check us out online, see what we're all about. And again, this has been a review of the Hulk Classics Mecha Hulk. Go get yours today.